freaking Mujin was talking about this. I have to watch it. It's so I gotta see how fucking funny it is. Detective Co can't let go can't let go of a case. No, like I'm not doing anything. Like this person's the one that did everything, though.
It seems that this year really isn't Nijisanji's year, huh? I mean, the VTubing space alone is crazy. I feel like we can't even pass 2 weeks before hearing something new. But this time, of course, we are going full circle back to any color.
Of course.
And what we're discussing today is crazy. It's about a train wreck of a VTuber whose every passing step triggered some sort of landmine, and he ended up even leaking internal Nijisanji protocols. This tweet right here kind of sums it up. 18-year-old meets 20-plus married woman in VR chat. They get into an online relationship. They abuse and use each other in various toxic ways. This eventually destroys her marriage. He makes it big, realizes he doesn't need her. She goes nuclear. My literal reaction.
Now this might strike some viewers as harsh, but I believe everyone involved in this story should die. See, look, like this is what I've said before, right? This is the problem of playing VR chat for a very long extended period of time. They are mentally ill, okay, chat, all right? When they play, like, when they, like, do not get off the game, even when they, like, tired and they want to go to sleep, right? They don't get off the fucking game. That's a problem. That is 100% a fucking problem. You guys know this for 100% fact, chat, that this is something that is not good. Like, this is something that's just definitely just not good in the grand scope of things, you know? I'm just saying.
Now, look, this isn't 100% accurate, right? She wasn't married. She was just in a long-term relationship with a boyfriend.
Wait, she wasn't married? Wait, I thought she was married. What? Is that true? Where's the receipt for that? Mujin, you better show me the receipt for that, for you to be saying that, to be honest. I'm surprised Man is still in Niji. As soon as I heard the news, I would fire him. Yeah, pretty much.
And while yes, this does kind of sum it up, this situation is an iceberg, and the devil is in the details, because here, he left out that the VTuber in question touched himself, yes, down there, while on a call with this woman, without her consent, by the way, and somehow, okay, somehow managed to manipulate the situation in such a way that by the end of it, she was the one apologizing to him.
Wait, she apologized to him? Oh yeah, I think I remember correctly. I think in some of the parts or so.
It's absolutely,
yeah, and some of the parts from the
bonkers,
document
dude.
the document itself.
Crazy. Like, I'm not using the word train wreck lightly. This is insane. And there's many more details like that that will make you question whether the human race can survive another 100 years, and how Nijisanji is such a mess internally. It's more than we could have ever anticipated, even with—
Yeah, that's pretty much just what Nijisanji looks like, to be honest. Yeah, you know what? That really summarizes what Nijisanji actually looks like.
everything that's been going on. So strap in for this one. Really sit down and take a deep breath, because it's about to get crazy. Guys, I have great news. This video is not sponsored, but you should know that I stream on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and that my VTuber debut is happening on May 4th.
I'm gonna go check on his stream or so on one of his days, right? I wanted to ask him specifically, like, how was the situation or so, what he was talking about, and sadly, unfortunately, he didn't talk about her, so he just completely ignored my message or so in the chat, unfortunately. But it's whatever. It is what it is, you know. Granted, there wasn't that many people scrolling by the chat or so, unless he was like dual streaming or something.
Fourth, that's it from me. Back to the video. The VTuber at the center of this catastrophe is none other than Luca Kaneshiro, a Nijisanji English branch VTuber and part of the Luxium wave. This was a wave comprised of only male VTubers. Now look, controversies aside, this wave was a very big deal for the global VTuber community.
Yep.
Before Luxium, male VTubers were purely seen as a joke, but this wave changed.
Let me see. Why are male VTubers incapable of reaching the same heights as popular as their female counterparts? Don't get me wrong, I'm well aware of the exceptions such as Kazuha, but for the most part, male VTuber viewerships never quite reach the same levels as the girls. Is there just less interest in general of them? Is it due to lack of exposure? Is it because Saikuno already exists? What the fuck? What are your thoughts on this phenomenon? Someone ignored the dawn.
That the idea of male VTubers became viable. Now, of course, the reason why they became viable and blew up so quickly was because they were thirst trapping, gay baiting, and pretty much creating a boyfriend experience.
Ah, yes, the thirst trapping and the boyfriend experience. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah, this is why I don't do any of those stuff, to be honest, because that just leads to like that weird parasocial shit, and I do not want to mess with that whatsoever, you know. That's why I'd rather keep my distance between you and me, chat, all right? You know, we're as long as as long as we have like good fun and stuff like that, hanging out in here and whatnot. I don't like that weird girlfriend relationship with you guys, chat, okay? All right, I'm going to be honest with you. If you start looking at me like that, I'm going to start slapping you like not even silly at that point.
Type scenario.
I'm gonna slap you back. I'm gonna snap you back to reality is what I'm gonna do to you.
As can be seen here. Vox Akuma at 3rd, Mr. Rise, who has graduated, at 6th.
Have you heard what happened later when Vox collabed with girls? No, I don't remember. I don't really remember him collabing with any girls, to be honest. I actually don't. I don't even know. I don't remember too much off the top of my head, personally.
6, and Luca at 7, all members of Luxium with above 1 million subscribers each and in the top 10 of Nijisanji Global, beating most Japanese VTubers in Nijisanji's biggest market. But in Luca's case, before even joining Nijisanji, he did have an on.
We saw this video. Vox's female fans sent death threats to the to his female collab partner like Reimu. Oh, right. I remember that one. Yeah, the girls are too crazy, to be honest. Those are the Niji sisters who are single and lonely and are mentally ill, you know. Ko got the basement trapping gig. We good? What the fuck are you talking about? Chat, remember when we saw this video, the god tier trap of VR chat Java, you know? Remember this video, guys? Do you guys remember this video? Yeah, I remember this video. We watched it live on stream. It was very interesting. Very interesting. We went like an in-depth analysis or so on Luca Kaneshiro when the first part of the 1 month ago when this was happening or something like that, you know?
Online presence, not as Luca, but as someone named Java. And his insane trail of self-destruction with him stepping on a landmine with every step he takes can be traced back to those days. According to the VR chat,
I've seen how he looks like too as well. I've seen how he looks like as well. He's not white. I thought he was white because he sounds white, but he's not white. So, yeah.
Legends Wiki, Java is known as a god tier trap in VR chat. With the most notable quote from him being, "That's kinda gay." So that was his whole gimmick. Pretend to be a female with his voice and then reveal the fact that he's a guy and watch the reaction. He got so good at being a trap in VR chat.
You wanna know something? This is a hot take, right? He may be good at VR chat, right? But he's not god tier trap. He's not a god tier trap. I've seen better. And my friend, my friend specifically, is one of those god tier. Better than him, like 100%. Better than this boy. He can play circles around this guy when it comes to female voices. That's all I have to say. That's literally all I have to say. He can play circles around this kid like it's nothing.
That he ended up joining the
He showed it to me and I was blown fucking away from it. I was so fucking impressed.
I like to call it the Bohemian Grove of streamers, which was Raffle Gator's invite-only Gator crew.
Yep. Yep, bro. Funny enough about it, Rolfgator, Java got nothing on Ko. Ko's best trapper there is. Okay, buddy. Okay, shut your bitch ass up. There ain't no fucking goddamn trap, okay? Alright. My friend, and also the videos that we saw on stream or so, which was Trapman. Trapman is really good. Fuck, what's the other person? Something drum or something? Something drum something? I don't remember off the top of my head, but yeah. But yeah, Rafflegator, funny enough, Rafflegator sent me a message or so in Discord. I didn't even know if it was I didn't answer it because I didn't know if it was the same Rafflegator, right? So that's why I didn't answer it, because I was like, wait a second, Rafflegator? Where have I heard that name before? And then I went to go search it up and I'm like, oh, it's that person. But I wasn't gonna answer it because I didn't think that was the same Rafflegator. That's why I didn't bother. That's why I didn't bother messaging back. So, but yeah, Rafflegator did message me, but I don't know if it was the true Rafflegator. So, you know.
Now, this VR chat server had some of the biggest streamers at the time present there, which meant that if you somehow got an invite and played your cards right, you could potentially start a streaming career, which is why so many people were desperate to get an invite.
I see. Oh, I see. I see. So if the person who messaged me in my DMs was actually Rafflegator, that would have basically started my streaming career, quote unquote streaming career, right? That would have started my streaming career with that. But at the same time, you know, I probably would have kept it silent away from Rafflegator and be like, no, I'm not a streamer, you know, I don't do any of those stuff, you know. So I probably would have just kept silent. I honestly would have just kept silent, like leave my my streaming stuff separate. If that was the real Rafflegator and he invited me to do the role playing or whatever he does most of the time, right? If he would have done that, I just would have been like, you know what, I'm okay, I'm alright, you know, that's fine, you know. Or if he asked me, oh, do you have a Twitch? Do you have a Twitch or anything? Or you streamer or anything like that? I'd be like, no, I'm not a streamer, you know. I'm not gonna say any of that stuff. I'm not gonna let the person know, you know. Or if they would try to convince me, be like, oh, you should start streaming and all that stuff, I'd be like, oh no, it's okay. I don't think I'm good at it personally, you know. I'm fine, you know. I like my normal job. I'm okay with it. So yeah, I probably would do that personally.
Some of the names on this list include people like Soda Poppin' and Moon, not to mention a lot of rising stars, so it was a big deal. This was an 18+ RP server on VR chat. Yes, you can imagine the degeneracy that went on there.
Yeah, there's a lot of degeneracy in it, but it's just a typical thing. Dude. VR chat cannot implies you haven't to interact with others, and their drama way too much energy spent for very little gain. You don't really have to pay attention to the drama, to be honest.
Especially with the content mostly being centered around awkwardness and dating, trying to pick up people, trying to riz them before even the term was invented. You get the point.
Yep.
After being invited to the server by Rafflegator, Java met Raziel, a VR chat streamer and role player. It was at that point that he asked Rafflegator to set him up on an RP date with her. So they went on RP dates, streamed together a lot. The community got used to seeing both of them in the same room. And from the perspective of a viewer, everything seemed to have been going well. Then at some point, Niji-sanji opens up auditions, Java applies, to his surprise he's accepted, and boom, baby, stardom. He is Luca Kaneshiro in the Luxeme wave, and he makes it big. But again, this is from the perspective of a viewer. I can't even begin to describe what happened behind the scenes. The irony here is
it's funny because we've already kind of looked behind the scenes or so for Mr. Java here / Luca Kaneshiro, right? And it's very interesting, I have to say. It is a very interesting thing to, you know, my perspective on Luca Kaneshiro. Granted, Luca Kaneshiro wasn't like super like my favorite, right? So I never really like, you know, grew attached to him, right, as like a viewer, right, or a fan or anything like that, right? So I'm just kind of like, you know, meh.
Is that even though he's made this joke, agency VTubers commits cancelable actions. That is exactly what he ends up doing multiple times over, both in terms of contract breaches and just straight up ethical and moral type incidents. Because it was on March 29th that Raziel herself decided to expose Luca for his true self in an effort to clear her name from his rabid hardcore fans.
Yep.
By the way, those same rabid fans, they didn't even let this document stay up for more than 24 hours before mass reporting it, with Google having to take it down, dude. It's gone. It's straight up gone. I've never seen this happen before.
Yep.
But thankfully, she re-uploaded it. Guys, this thing is 58 pages. 58! What is this, a master's thesis? A dissertation? Like, is she going for a PhD? 58! I clicked on this thinking, oh, it's probably going to be a few pages with some proof, with some timestamps, with some DMs. 58 pages. Now, of course, I read the whole thing, but don't worry, we're not going to be doing that. Instead, I'll sum it up and we'll go through the highlights of.
Yeah, we've already kind of looked through most of it, but I'm very curious as what he thinks, what he personally thinks. Mista was more interesting. Luca had barely heard him. Yeah, I heard a little bit more about Mista, to be honest, compared to Luca. Luca was alright, but you know, it's mostly his catchphrase was Pog. You know, he was like, Pog this and Pog that. Yay, more Niji Sanji news. No, it's just a review. It's just a review on the Mujin decided to make the video on the VTuber, so Luca Kaneshiro, or so that we reacted to back on the false ID. But I always like Mujin's because he does go like a pretty in depth in a lot of the stuff and a few analysis and stuff in here and there, and he does make it funny at the end of the day. You know, it's pretty fucking hilarious.
The absolute degeneracy that occurred between Raziel, the author, and Luca. She starts off by saying this: why does this document exist? A very good question. She goes on to say that more information, such as the Niji Sanji contract, has come out along with another individual in the know confessing to me that Luca Kaneshiro has allegedly harassed others inside of Niji Sanji. So here she's talking about how.
So allegedly, Luca Kaneshiro harassed some members inside of Niji Sanji. Wow. I wonder why. Maybe because he has the favoritism on his side, and because his and his entire group performed so well, you know.
A Niji Sanji VTuber contract leaked recently as things were escalating after Selen's termination. Legal Mindset, who's a registered lawyer and happens to have a great channel, went through the entire contract on one of his streams and pretty much outlined the fact that this is terribly written and gives a huge disadvantage to the VTuber signing it. Selen's termination all.
See, I fucking knew it. I even said, man, that contract must be so fucking shit. Like 100%. Like whoever signs that contract to be part of Niji Sanji, they probably don't know what they're reading. Like they don't know the contract 100%. Like they don't know what they're getting themselves into. And Lord and behold, wow, look at that. I was so fucking right. Damn, dude. Pretty fucking obvious, huh? Pretty obvious.
Also shed light on harassment happening internally. So the fact that Luca seems to have been harassing people allegedly as well goes back to that incident too. She continues, I believe it is my responsibility to bring to light his problematic behavior and patterns of abuse as both Java and Luca for those who may be in a precarious situation, which do not allow them to speak or act. This is also to touch upon the internal issues of any color's management of their talents. Any documents are simply meant to prove the credibility of my story and that I was deeply involved with Luca. Oh yeah, she was.
Could already escape.
She was deeply involved. She then goes on to say that,
you know what, I'm really happy. You want to know something? I'm kind of really happy that I did not get accepted. You know what? I'm actually truly happy I didn't get accepted to Niji Sanji. I'll be straight up honest with you. Very happy. Very, very, very happy.
while some may be asking why I didn't do this sooner, I'll be completely honest. No one cared. She says, I am to this day harassed and sent death threats by Luca's fanbase. They actively suppress, lie, and spread vicious rumors to try and discredit me. Hence, why her document got taken down from Google like literally one day after she posted it. I would get anonymous death threats in my Marshmallow and Sock Puppet Twitter accounts, so I gave up for a long time. So as I mentioned before, they met in December 2018 in the exclusive 18+ VR chat lobby that had a lot of big streamers. So Java then asked Rafflegator, the streamer who owned the lobby, to see if he could set up a date with his character and Raziel's character. It was nothing out of the ordinary, right? As she mentions, you know, this was part of the whole server. This was the main content. So she was okay with it, but she apparently, according to her, set very clear boundaries, that she wasn't interested in actual dating outside of RP, that she had a long-term boyfriend, etc., right? So as far as she was concerned, things were okay. Now, of course, they gradually became close friends. They started inviting each other to private worlds, hung out together, chilled, talked, and that's when he would start to open up about his home situation, his mental and physical abuse that comes from his...
Ah, yes. Ah, yes. Ah, yes. The start of trauma dumping in VR chat. Ugh. When you can become very, very, you know... I don't know how, you know, how long they've been friends together, right? Remember, this is VR chat, right? Everything moves fast in VR chat, okay? This could be a week, this could be 2 weeks, this could be 3 weeks, this could be fucking a day, 2 days, 3 days. We don't fucking know, okay? Like, we don't know. They don't give us like the timestamp or anything like that. But what I know for a fact, VR chat moves fast, especially when it comes to relationships, and then when it comes to being friends, and then those friends start trauma dumping you and telling you their backstory or their mental and their physical or whatever shenanigans, you know. So yeah,
family. And then of course there's the whole, he would tell me that he never felt comfortable talking about this stuff with anyone before. Look, this is typical. Typically, if someone is nice to you, forms a bond with you, and then all of a sudden trauma dumps enough of a load to break a Tesla truck, guess what? This is most likely a great way to just manipulate you.
Bam, 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 right there for you, boys. Right there. Everyone here in chat and people who are watching the video or so, bam, right there. There it is. I've seen it so many times in VR chat. I've seen it way too much, to be honest, and it's a lot. That's why me specifically, if you're gonna tell me a sob story, I'm not gonna care. I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. I've heard everything. I've heard of all of it, so that's why I just don't care anymore. I just generally don't care. You know, don't tell me with your problems. Like, don't tell me at all. Like, I don't care. Okay. I come here to have fun in VR chat, all right? Make some new friends, bond, and do all that fancy jazzy stuff, right? I'm not here to hear your 20-page essay of, like, how you got shit stained all over your face because you didn't eat your vegetables or something when you were 6 years old, you know?
So, of course, she started opening up in return as well. Now, here's what, this is probably the craziest thing. Look, we're still on page 2, okay? We're still on page 2. This is the craziest thing that happens in all these 58 pages. Brace. So on January 17, 2019, Java would once again invite me to a private world. We were both in full body tracking in a VR chat. We discussed RP and made small talk before Java would go silent. At first, I thought maybe his mom came into his room, as she often did, and he muted himself to talk to her. I kept talking, and I could see him moving slightly, but he kept silent. I asked him if everything was okay, and he said it was. I then asked him what he was doing. It was there. Without asking me if it was okay, out of the blue, with no prior consent and with boundaries already made clear that I did not want to date, he told me he was touching himself to my voice. Yes, down there, buddy. That's what that means. He was beating his sausage. I froze up. I honestly did not know how to respond at the moment, so I just kept talking. Luckily, it did not last long because suddenly...
Hello, Code. Thank you for the follower. So, since you followed, because I always do this to every new followers, of course. You can never, ever leave the outer realms. Hello. Greetings. Welcome. But, yeah. Okay. What do I personally think about this? Okay, since I'm a person who plays VR chat, right? I played VR chat for an extended period of time, right? And I'm a girl, right? I'm a girl in VR chat, right? Is it weird? Yes, it is 100% weird. Now, to be honest, right? The one part that threw me off of this document specifically, when it says, with no prior consent. So I'm like, are you telling me he's supposed to ask consent with you in order for himself to touch himself. That was the part that was kind of like, it would have been like better if, like, it was pretty weird, and then it would have said after that, right? And I said the boundaries are so not to do that, or in that sort of nature, find me in any sexual attraction towards me. Then I'd be like, yeah, no, that's 100% weird, but like, does he really need to ask consent to you? Like, literally, like, in VR, like, I've seen more weirder shit, to be honest. I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. I've seen more far beyond more worse things at that. But is it weird? Yes, 100% weird. Should Luca have done it? No, 100% he should not have done it. Because it's fucking weird. like literally, it's so fucking weird. Like, no joke. Like, it's just like, bruh, are you serious? Come on.
Suddenly, I would see his avatar's head drop to the floor and he would go offline. So typically in VR, when you have full body tracking, when you put your headset on the floor, that's what happens, right? That means he left. I would find out shortly after in Discord DMs that his mom had walked in on him. I didn't know how to respond, given I was told by him his mom would still physically abuse and yell at him. So my brain switched to make sure he was okay, as opposed to addressing what he just did with me, as you can see in the DMs below. Check these DMs out, dude. This is insane. This is a master class of manipulation. It is absolutely bonkers. Look at this. So, my mother caught me. Raziel responds with a flushed emoji. Luca then says, that's an oof. She says, I'm afraid that is what happened. Then he says, yeah. And then she says, big oof, I'm sorry. Bro, this dude took out his sausage, started playing with his sausage. No consent, with clear boundaries established, okay? She's the one who ends up apologizing.
Yeah, but Mujin is forgetting the part that his mom came in. We don't know if it's real or not at the end of the day, right? Like we don't have physical proof that his mom came in, right? And caught him jerking his meat or so while he had VR on, right? Like, we don't know. Maybe it did happen. Maybe it didn't. We don't know. It's like a flip of a coin, It's a 50-50 shot. So you can either be completely wrong or completely right. Now, am I saying what Luca did is good? What he did? No, I'm not saying that it's good. It's completely wrong. But at the end of the day, we don't know. We don't know. Maybe his mom did came in, saw him beating his meat in VR, and fucking whooped his ass, That could be possible. That could fucking be possible. But, we, like I said, we just don't know. At the end of the day, we don't know. Nobody knows. The only person that knows is freaking Java, I'm just saying.
I hope you're okay and don't get into trouble. Heart emoji. Oh no, big trouble. Sad face. Personal space, holy fuck, they not know? Sorry, Raz. Yeah, dude, sorry, Raz. They don't know, man. I'm beating my meat. Can she not leave me alone? No, it's okay. What do you mean it's okay? This is so stupid. No, bro, it's okay. Listen, I know you beat your meat in front of me. It's all good. Listen, your mom caught you, so I apologize. It's fine. I'll give you an update. My mom is literally having a meltdown. I'm really sorry. She apologizes again. No, it's literally okay. What they're doing now is restricting my playtime. As long as you're safe.
Oh, I missed a moment. Have they been dating? Did she leave her husband? Apparently they weren't even married. They were in a long relationship. They weren't even married, so.
Yes, please. As long as you're safe, so you can beat your meat next time safely. They're gonna limit my use of the internet, and I will be only able to use it for 2 hours. Forever? Clearly not, because later, Raziel would just start streaming again on Twitch. Now, Luca, or Java at the time, lived, or still lives, in Australia, right? So when she would go live, he would wake up in the morning at 4 a.m. Australian time just to be a part of her stream. He slowly became obsessive and possessive. Whenever she would talk or flirt with someone else, whenever she would do something with someone else, he would get angry. She would tell him multiple times to knock it off and that it wasn't appropriate. But even with all these things, she still felt the need to specify. I do greatly appreciate him helping me and appearing on my stream to this day. However, he just beat his meat without your consent when you told him about your long-term relationship and established boundaries. This was the perfect time to tell him, hey, you know what? It's been fun. I'm not interested in talking to you anymore, okay? She has had one hell of a chance to do this, but
yeah, she definitely had like one chance to be like, okay, that's a little bit weird, She probably should have just like, like should have like kept her distance now from that point on, right? I blame her for this, but at the end of the day, right? It's just like, does he really need to ask consent to beat his own meat though? Like, does he? Does he really need to do it? Like, is it weird? Yeah, of course it's fucking weird. Like I said before, it's weird, but he doesn't really need to ask consent, you know? You know? She should have realized this because she's older, right? Apparently she's quote unquote older, quote unquote, right? I'm put this in quote unquote, but the way how she handled the situation, no, definitely not older, but mentally anyways. So that's why I would have, if it wasn't me in that situation personally, I would have definitely just like kind of like kept my distance, you know, from him, and then be like, and all this other stuff. Take care, Noble. Take care, Hun. Stay safe. Stay safe. Thank you for coming by as always. Very much appreciated, Hun. I heard people that she is like 10 years older than him. I don't know. Don't listen to what the internet has. You have to get all the facts and everything correct. Don't listen to what Twitter has to say, okay? All right? If there's no factual proof, don't even bother listening to it. That's why I never listened to that whole shenanigans there. So there's no proof. I don't see it. Where is it at? I don't see it. Everyone's just saying shit. Well, okay, whatever. I'm not gonna listen to you, so.
She opted not to. Why? I do not know. He became super possessive, and then she said after establishing more boundaries and being understood by both of us, we were able to continue our friendship. I don't know how, when you had already established boundaries and the dude beat his meat. But even with those boundaries, he said she still feels obligated to talk and be with him because of the way he would get upset, or at least I felt like I had to keep my conversations with others short. Now, in extreme, and I mean extreme ironic fashion, the god-tier trap would pretend to be a female to then trick people that he's a male had big problems with certain groups of people. He really, really, really didn't like it when someone called him gay. His mom joked about it and he was like, fuck no, dude. Fuck no. No, dude, I'm not gay. Don't say that. And as recently as January 2023, he said this: yeah, trans people make me uncomfortable, and pregnant women. That is so random though, dude. Like, listen, if you typically have something against the LGBT, it can be explained somehow, some way, right? Like, it's clear here. His mom, when she said, are you gay? And he said, no, she said, you little shit, thank God, okay? We can say it's cultural, familial, where you grow up, you know, it can be explained to a certain degree, okay? But pregnant women, what the hell is this? I can't even explain this.
You'd be very surprised, you know. There's some people who just don't like the view of the pregnant woman, you know. So, you know, besides he's a young kid at the end of the day, right? Maybe he got scarred when he was younger, you know. Doesn't surprise me, you know, wouldn't surprise me. Or he just saw something really disgusting that really kind of like cursed him, you know, about it. So I think I heard about this first time in either Rev or Kyo, and it was probably Rev who with the age gap, but it was Reziel first time posted, so like a month ago. Yeah, I know about it about a month ago, but like I said, I just wanted to. There was no actual physical proof, so I don't know. Something must have scarred him or so for him to say like I just feel uncomfortable with pregnant women. So there's nothing wrong of saying of being uncomfortable. Like there's generally like nothing wrong of saying it, you know. If you're like not really comfortable of like, you know, being surrounded by like, you know, trans people or pregnant women, right? It's nothing really that crazy in my personal opinion. I don't know. For me, that's a bit of a stretch personally. Granted, I'm older, right? There's some things I'm uncomfortable too, you know? It is what it is, right? You know? What do you want me to do? You know, what the fuck? Be uncomfortable? No, like there's some things that give me uncomfortableness, and that's it. You know, it is what it is. You know.
Where did this come from? Like, why do pregnant women make you uncomfortable? Like, oh man, when I see those bellies of pregnant women, man, the fact that they have a life inhibiting them, oh my god, dude. It's just...
Granted, he's just joking around, right? He can't seem to like solve the mystery, right? But it's just like it's kind of obvious, you know. It's like something must have scarred him or so when he was younger, specifically for him not to like pregnant women, you know. He's
And
a
still,
kid
her
at the end of the
friendship
day.
persisted with him, okay? Now, at some point, Java would decide to stream on Twitch under the name of Java with 4 A's. After becoming a god-tier trap, like the wiki says, and tricking streamers such as Soda Poppin', he started to gain some sort of popularity. This is when, for whatever reason, Raziel abandoned her entire streaming career just to help him with his streaming. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that was one of the things or so in the document itself. Is like, why would you give up your streaming like starting streaming career to help out Java? You know, when Java's just like barely starting out, you know, and stuff like that. So it's kind of weird, right? Like, I don't have anyone helping me on like my streams and stuff like that. Like, I do everything myself. That's why sometimes things take a little bit longer than usual, because I'm just like, I'm busy with other things, you know. I'm sorry, you know, I can't do everything. Okay, I need some time, alone time for myself as well, to relax and like clear my mind and stuff like that. Okay, so that's why things take a little bit longer for me personally, because I'm the only one on the team, okay? So there's no one else here. So
Like, does he have a gun to her head or something? Does he have blackmail on her? No, I don't know why. But she did. Okay? She did. She started managing his channel, his community. Her work included keeping him company on stream per request, suggesting games for him to play based on popularity, managing sponsorship.
yeah, but at the same time, like, suggesting games based on popularity, though, like, you can literally search that up yourself. You know, it's not even hard. Like, if you play video games, right? If you play video games on like almost on a daily basis, you know exactly what games are popular and what games are not popular. Like, it's obviously, you can fucking tell. Like, it's not rocket science, you know? It's actually generally just not rocket science. I don't know. That's just me personally.
Cultivating and managing his community, running and helping his moderation team, coming up with subathon goals and executing the goals that didn't directly involve him, streaming for him at least once a week on his channel so that he would stay consistent. And even after all this, Java would still lie to her about his revenue, making her think that he makes way less than he actually makes, and about going to school when he wasn't even enrolled, among various things. Now, as he was streaming on Twitch, Niji-sanji all of a sudden opened up their auditions for their next wave. He would, of course, apply. And during
Round Dust 2 is popular. I feel like I lose IQ points while trying to understand her behavior and why she is helping him, when he is clearly just abusing and manipulating her.
the application process, while waiting to hear back from them, he would end up making 2 alts on Twitter to harass others during the Niji-sanji audition process. One called Lolly Springa and the other one called Poggers Woggers. He even linked his own Twitter on his alt saying, "Help it out, Pog, guys." This is someone talking about their favorite VTuber and then him replying, "Who asked?" Now the thing is, initially, he wouldn't admit to Raziel that these were his accounts until she tried to log into them using the same password she was given for his other accounts, like his Twitch stream. Again, continuing with the lying, and yet she's still here. Now, as he was waiting for Niji-sanji's final response, he got banned from the GTA 5 RP server NoPixel for sexual harassment. Look at this, dude, look at this. We had multiple reports of you pushing sexual harassment during and going against TOS on a 911 call. The RPer wasn't comfortable with the direction it was heading in terms of him RPing that his testicle was damaged, causing him to sound like a woman and begging us to help him to put it back. You made a racially offensive remark during the heli ride back to the city as well. Tried to grab EMSs inappropriately. Dude, he's a train wreck. He's an absolute disaster.
I don't know anything about this pixel stuff, so I'm not saying anything on it.
So around that time, Niji-sanji asked him to come for a final interview, and guess what? He was the first English male wave VTuber under the revolutionary Luxium wave. Yes, the same wave that revolutionized male VTubers in the industry on the global side. He was the first. Does that not say a lot about the wave and the company? Niji-sanji just can't catch a break, huh? Now, Raziel says here, our relationship was still very good at this point. We would spitball names for his character where we only had the image below to go off of. etc., etc. Now, I don't know what her definition of a good relationship is, but even at this point, their relationship was absolutely putrid. Okay, this was terrible. During the naming process, one funny thing that'll come up later is that he mentioned that one of his aspirations was how he did not want to become like other male VTubers. He wanted to go with a non-boyfriend experience, and he didn't want to pander or sell out. He wanted to be non-lewd and really play into the mafia-esque character, the one you see here. Look, man, very admirable. I'm going for that too. But if you've watched Luca, you already know this didn't even last a month. This didn't even last like half a year. So at this point, he got signed to Nijisanji and had to prepare for his debut stream. This is a VTuber's first ever stream. It's a big moment and many things get commissioned and made to make it as impactful as possible. Luca the train wreck was having a hard time preparing though. One of his artists ghosted him and he couldn't figure out how to make some things work. So hey, guess who stepped up for free? Raziel.
You want to know something? I made my own PowerPoint for my terrible like debut, right? I literally made everything myself. Like I did it all by myself. It was not that hard, to be honest. It was relatively fucking easy to do, you know. All I did was just like grabbed it like a background or so with like a shade of color, like with 2 shades of color, and then like add a design to it, right? I think I had a design to it. I don't fucking remember, right? And then and I just put words. I just put words and stuff like that and all the other shenanigans, you know.
He made his PowerPoint,
I don't know,
schedule, outro. It's just like she's his babysitter. It's also crazy to me how Nijisanji's not there to do these things.
Yep.
You're starting a new wave on the global market, which is, by all means, way more important than the Japanese market long term, and he was left to do these things by himself. As far as I know, other corporations actually make an effort to assist you in this process, at least when you're...
Let's see. Interesting.
Starting out. After Luca started at Nijisanji, after the debut, he would cut off contact with pretty much everyone. He would still speak to Raziel, but he would still be abusive, comparing her to his abusive mother, which is one of the worst things you can do when all you do is complain about your mother and then compare your friend to her. But
Jesus.
Even with all this, she still stayed and did not cut contact with him. Then something substantial happens, and it's easily one of the most ridiculous things in this entire document. She calls it the Ring Fit Adventure Incident, and it's really gonna test your
So I also told that she was given 0 help, almost no money, and was asked to prepare her debut on her own. Yeah, it's basic. That's how it is for pretty much almost for everybody. That's how it is.
Tolerance. Now, if you're not aware, the Ring Fit is something you can use with your Nintendo Switch. It's great for exercising, and quite a bit of VTubers have already streamed themselves working out with it. Now, Raziel...
One day I'll stream. I'll fucking stream that game too as well. I'm not gonna be excited personally, but yeah, that's pretty much it. One day I'll stream Ring Fit Adventure. That'll be definitely a video that I'll probably be editing myself, so.
And another mod from the Java days were the only moderators in his entire chat. And we're talking about a YouTube channel that gets thousands of concurrent viewers at once. Now, she personally couldn't make it to the stream. She watched it back and saw that many of the comments were sexual in nature. She asked Luca if this was fine with him, and he did say that it made him uncomfortable. So the next stream where he was doing the Ring Fit, she would try to steer the conversation in other directions if the chat was getting horny. It got so crazy that at some point she had to call out someone publicly in chat saying that Luca was moaning on purpose. She said, no, actually, this is just him breathing heavily from tough exercise. Man, what a tough situation. You know what? You tell me, does he sound like he's moaning or just heavily breathing? It just keeps going. Bro, look at this comment right here. Every single timestamp where he moans extremely sexually, bro.
Someone did a timestamp for all of them? Holy fuck, that person has... Oh my goodness gracious me. Someone has way too much free time. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my goodness gracious me. God, humanity sure is something, to be honest. You guys seem to always shock me almost every single day. I don't know how you guys manage to shock me every day. It makes no sense.
Where he moans extremely sexually, bro. What is this? Look at the chat. What is this? Heavily breathing my ass. What do you mean? Who the hell breathes like this? Then someone donates and says, why are your moderators banning people? Luca immediately sides with the donator and says, don't worry, I'll talk to them. She then panics. Raziel panics and just messages him immediately saying, we didn't ban anyone. We only timed out, please. Which is a sign of a great relationship, by the way. If your friend talks to you this way, just know you have a very healthy relationship, guys. So they talked about it, and then he made this tweet saying, I trust my moderators to do their jobs. Do not lie to me and say they were banning people because of an emote when all they were doing was timing out very weird comments. Stop it, it was all a misunderstanding. Still though, even with this tweet siding with his moderators, Raziel was doxxed. Her image is put everywhere on social media and got death threats and harassment. So what did she do?
Jesus Christ, you got doxxed over that? Oh my god, dude, man. Well, that's just the Niji Saji fans just being fucking crazy at that point. Just because she timed out people for being horny people. So, you know.
She asked to speak to his manager at Niji Sanji to better formulate a plan on how to best handle this. Both Luca and his manager ignored her. And Luca told her, listen, you know what? Just be a silent mod. Just don't talk in the chat. She says this put a giant strain on our friendship, but guess what? She stayed again. She's not leaving. She's not getting contact with him. I don't know why. Most people would have cut contact and ended this quote unquote friendship as soon as he beat his meat. But no, she's still here for whatever reason. So remember how I
Well, it's cause he's not in the, well, it is weird, right? Like it is weird, right? But the problem is it's like, you know. I've seen more weirder stuff than, you know, some dude beating his meat to someone's voice, to be honest. I've seen far worse, but yeah. Anyways, that's just from personal experience, you know. So.
I said that it was admirable that Luca.
Granted, I'd never talked to them, of course, you know, because, you know, I'm the one who's pretty reasonable, right? Like I just don't continue talking to them, so.
Didn't want to go with the boyfriend experience route? Well, as you saw from the Ring Fit stream, that did not last long. One of the main reasons why he converted to BFE was because he kept comparing his view count to the other Luxium members, which according to Raziel, the number fixation is what drove him away from what he originally wanted to portray. He would be upset if I took notice of his new on-stream personality and overall content change. Luca would start to pander more. He would Fujo bait, which is pretty much gay baiting, with the other boys, and started to shift towards a more boyfriend experience type content. He would get frustrated and sad that I didn't watch his streams anymore, which was for numerous reasons. One was the content shift, the other was his time slot, which was quite late for me. I would occasionally watch his streams, but I couldn't even talk about them because it was like walking on eggshells. I couldn't joke about the things he did or say as he would get upset at me, yet somehow all we would talk about was Niji Sanji and his streams. And one of the funniest things about this, right? Remember, he didn't want to be boyfriend experience. He didn't want to be overly horny. He didn't want to pander for these things. He would always say things like this, like, look, Jesus, there are so many shirtless fan arts. I cannot retweet.
Yeah, but I'm a mommy who will slap you with your chancla if you're being stupid.
Them, because it'll just be weird. It's like, why are you talking about it then? What's going on?
I'll beat you with a belt and slap you with a chancla. That's what the experience. That's the true mommy experience that you're getting from me. So.
Thinking about my voice tweet 1 hour ago being sexual makes me uncomfortable, and I don't want that up. It's like, really? What is it? What's the voice tweet? It can't be that bad. Come on.
$350K. Huh?
Huh.
That's my little lookups.
I am cringe champing. Trust me, buddy. Same here. Thank you for 173,000 subscribers. Who talks like this? Listen, you guys can laugh and cringe all you want. Look at this. 34,000 likes. 1,400 bookmarks, 7,400 retweets, 1,000 comments. This was before we could see impressions on posts. I guarantee you this has at least 500,000. It pays, man. As cringy as this is. He'd be mostly jealous of
Yeah, yeah. It just pays. It honestly just makes it. It's basically like, like that one definition, right? Sex sells, right? Basic. It's just sort of in that sort of situation. He's like shifting over because he cares about the numbers. That's the problem, right? Like he's a streamer and he was comparing himself with numbers to the other boys, right? And then he decided to become, that sort of. He decided to copy. I would assume he copied more of Vox Akuma because Vox Akuma was the one that kind of like started doing all of that stuff, right? To begin with. And, well, Lord to behold, well, Luca wanted a piece of that, so yeah.
Fox, who was getting more attention than him. He would constantly be on sites like 4chan, and he would ego search himself on Twitter, which means looking at positive comments that are glazing him 24/7 and then telling Raziel about it. She says here, he would show me fan art and clips people were making of him non-stop and what they were saying about him. People thought Riroran was needy streamer overload. No. It is him. He would even directly message his fans on Twitter and lie to Raziel about it, which is an extreme form of parasocial. Bye, I'm winning. This is a fan who got a DM from him saying, night, you too. She probably experienced puberty for the second time after this message. So Raziel was what was holding Luca's entire career together at this point. And she was continuing to do work for him, and he started to pay her. Now here's the thing. He wanted to pay her a monthly salary. She wanted a simple contract. He denied the contract and wouldn't even allow her to send invoices to him. No, instead, he would just send her random payments. She had to remind him, by the way, saying commission service, commission. Even at one point saying happy birthday when it wasn't her birthday. That's tax fraud, dude. What are you doing? What is going on? At some point, she tried to do rules. After months of not having chat rules, she made them with the other mod. Luca denied it, rewrote them. This is what he came up with. Look at this. Do not be weird, champion. That is super unpog. Be respectful to one another. We only pog and not weird. Bro, unless you were chronically online on Twitch back then, you would have no idea what this means.
See, this is what happens when you're like just always online all the time, right? This also proves that like this person has just been in like, because like the problem is like, right, he was on Twitch, like he just wanted to be like a grabbing the entire attention. So remember that because his friend Raziel streams, right? So he would always get up at 4 o'clock in the morning trying to be on that stream specifically, So he would wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning in Australia times to be in Raziel's stream every single day to grab the attention. He would also be in he also wants to be in the stream with Rafflegator when Rafflegator decides to stream, and then all of this other shenanigans, right? And then he opened up his own Twitch, because he wanted the fame, the glory, the platform, the viewers, the money and everything. Basically he went in a different mindset of streaming in like probably like the worst way to actually stream, compared to like me, right? I came in streaming because like, number one, I enjoy VTubing. That's number one. That's actually like number one thing. Is like I just enjoy VTubing. I like meeting new people, and like, I also want to like, create stuff, like I just want to be like very creative when it comes to certain my things, like we talked about in my last stream, my last stream or so yesterday, we talked about like, the stories and stuff like that I want to create or so for everybody. I want to open up a game studio that would be kind of fun, because of what's been happening. Well, I originally didn't want to open up a game studio, but what's been happening recently with video games, of course, like I'm just gonna be like, well, I kind of want to open up a game studio because apparently people are being stupid out here. So at that point, so yeah. So as you guys can tell, I don't know. I just enjoy VTubing. The first time I had I downloaded a model from Steam, right? From Steam or so to try out like the whole VTubing thing because I thought it looked fun. When I saw it personally, I thought it looked fun personally. So then I wanted to give it a try, and then I just did it to myself, and I saw like the model moving and everything when I set it up my the web camera or so, the Xbox Connect, right? The Xbox Connect thing. And then I was like, oh my god, it's so cute. I love this. So then, And that's pretty much just what it is. I just fucking like it. That's all. You know, I just enjoy. I just like seeing the PNG, like the VTuber model moving around and doing all those random shenanigans with it, with like the facial expressions and stuff like that, and the toggles and everything. So, and that's pretty much it. That's literally is what got me into it. It's like I just thought it looked fun. That's it. That's all. It's really like cut and dry. There's like no there's like that, not really like a really in-depth analysis. Like, why did you become a VTuber? I don't know. I just thought it was fucking fun. It looked fun. that's pretty much it. Like, yeah, another reason is like, yeah, I would like to be quote unquote famous, but then at the same time I don't want to be at the same time, right? Because the problem is like can you handle the fame? Can you handle when you blow up out of nowhere, right? Like, that's the one major thing, right? I didn't want that at a super early stage in like my VTubing career, right? That's why I prefer to being a little like more smaller, right? Personally, right? Just personal wise. Because then like, oh man, I gotta do all of this shit, I gotta do all of that and do this and do that, you know, and all this other stuff. Like, I kind of just want to like build my way, like use the building blocks and build my way upwards, you know, to be quote unquote famous, quote unquote, you know. And then also just want to like, you know, I know it's like, it's a long shot, right, to be like quote unquote famous, right, quote unquote, but I want to do it because I just want to like take care of my mom, you know. That's pretty much it, you know. Mama Azathoth has like, you know, completely like protected me and like raised me pretty well, in my personal opinion. And I just want to give something back, you know. I don't know. I just kind of like want to give her something back in return. I don't know what it would be, but yeah, I just want to give something in return. I know it's a long shot to be, you know, quote unquote famous, right? But the only reason why is like, my driving force is to me have fun, and then doing it for Mama Azathoth. That's literally it. Like, that's like the main, like the two main reasons why why I push myself to like the limit when it comes to like my VTubing career. It's just like I just want to do it for Mama Azathoth. That's it, you know. That's all for her, you know. So do it for the Vide. Okay, buddy. All right. You shut your bitch up. Yeah, it was literally all just for Mama Azathoth, you know. So, and that's it. That's literally it. Nothing really too insane or anything like that. Well, there's other small, minute things, but that's personal. That's personal reasons. So that's just personal problems, I should say. Not personal reasons, personal problems, you know.
It's just insane to me. Things somehow just kept getting worse and more ridiculous, but Raziel's role in the stream and Luca's ecosystem kept getting bigger and bigger. She would write character lore for him. She would make outfits for him. She would write the script for his voice packs. And at some point, she even wrote his signature for him. Look at this. This is her handwriting. This is her handwriting as well, the handwritten note. And this was sent to everyone who bought his voice pack. This is insane. This doesn't just hurt him, it hurts any other VTubers under Nijisanji, because now people are asking, am I even getting real signatures? When he reached 1 million subscribers, management sent him this message, which was leaked, of course. Thanks to do for 1 million subs. Hi Luca, since you are very close to 1 million subs now, please proceed the following ASAP. Something to do with merch, submit handwritten short message similar to the attached image. This was from another Japanese Nijisanji VTuber called Kane. And they're using this as an example. So he wrote to Raziel the message that he wanted, and guess what? She wrote it for him. There is nothing genuine about him, dude. She even drew the drawing here. She wrote his name. He didn't do a single thing.
Yeah, he didn't do a single ounce of work. Like seriously. Like, honestly, he didn't, like, it just feels like he just didn't do jack shit. Like, it's kind of wild in my personal opinion. It just feels like he just didn't do anything, you know? It's like she was basically Luca Kaneshiro, you know? She basically, Raziel was Luca Kaneshiro the entire time, and Luca, you know, Java was not. So, I don't know.
Except come up with the message, which was very simple, by the
way. Like, I have no problem, right, asking, no, he did pay her. Like I said, right, I have no problem of, like, you asking for help, right? in like 1, 2, or 3 projects or something, right? As long as like you pay them, right? Like you pay them for the work, right? But like you can't have her do everything. That's the one thing that like drives me up the wall. Like you can't have her do fucking everything. She even did the Minecraft Pogland, or what the fuck, the fucking Minecraft world that not the Minecraft world, but the fucking Minecraft buildings that Luca Kaneshiro was doing on stream. I remember watching that or so live when he was like quote unquote building certain things, right? But apparently it was Raziel who did it. So I'm just kind of like, bro, are you serious? Like, goddamn, dude, that's crazy.
By the way, she even gave him ideas of what to do to celebrate, going through old clips, showcasing fan art, drawing something to be updated. I think at this point we all understand how much of a train wreck Luca and his career has been if it wasn't for Raziel and their very weird relationship. Niji-sanji don't even have to try to look bad. They signed someone who's an absolute psychopath as one of their first signings for the Luxium wave. But this document takes it a step further because it shows us things that Luca leaked to Raziel internally from Niji-sanji that he wasn't supposed to show a single living.
This one right here, when I read this one, this was like, I was like, no way, are you serious? Like, no shot. Like, oh my god, you just like literally fucked yourself royally off of this one.
Soul. She says, to my understanding, staff have 3 channels of communication with the Niji-sanji livers. This would be Slack, Microsoft Teams, and Discord. I think just the idea that they use Microsoft Teams to communicate with their VTubers is enough to never ever want to sign up with Niji-sanji. Forget everything else. The fact that they use Microsoft Teams.
Yeah. They use Microsoft Teams to communicate. I don't even know what the fuck that is, to be honest. I'm gonna be very honest with you. Even I don't even know what that is. I'll be straight up honest with you. So,
while it was rare I would get screenshots of any internal messages, there were a couple times I did. One would be about staff showing EN what 3D recording looked like for concerts with a video call. One would be upper management thanking Luca for his hard work.
It's like Zoom,
Slack,
but with
the other
chats.
shown above was asking for a message from Luca for his 1 million subscriber milestone through Discord. So this is the image showing them how the concert would look like in Microsoft Teams in a live stream. And this right here was a message from an employee working for Niji-sanji EN saying, to be honest, I bet everything on EN. If EN had not succeeded, I would have been fired, so I'm extremely grateful for your daily cooperation. This showcases the extremely positive work environment at Niji-sanji, guys. It feels like I'm watching an anime with someone who's in the corporate work culture under like an ugly bastard of a boss, right? By the way, he leaks something that explains why Niji-sanji was so terrible at handling the Selen Tatsuki situation and everything else afterwards. Yep. She says, there are multiple times and instances where something would happen and I would ask Luca if they ever received basic public relations training. He would inform me they did not. Surprise, surprise. Any colors management felt non-existent from what Luca had told me. Luca had also told me early on in his time in Niji-sanji that management told him that he was supposed to be the leader of Luxium. That clearly was not the case. Look at who's in the middle in this picture.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I can't really see Luca being the leader of Luxium, to be honest, in my personal opinion. Yeah. I don't know.
It was Vox, not him. There was also an event that was meant to happen with all Luxium Wave VTubers, but for whatever reason, last second, both Ike Eveland and Luca were excluded without being given any reason, again showcasing that this company culture is incredible. Now, she did include a full conversation. There's one thing that interests me in this whole thing, and that's the way she was addressing him at this point. Look at this. I'm just a little petty, he says. And then she says, oh yeah, what happened? Love. Then if we go...
There you go. There you go, right? Like, huh, interesting. I thought they said they weren't in a relationship, right? Like, who fucking says love to someone, you know? That's the one that drove me, that kind of like drove me a little bit like, huh. That's what I'm saying, you know?
Go to the album itself to look at more screenshots. At some point, to calm him down, she says, that's working for a business, baby.
I fucking knew it. I told you, chat. I told you. I was like, I was like, one of these motherfuckers said baby to each other, but I don't know which one it was. I thought it was Luca Kaneshiro, but no, it just proved. I was literally trying to search for that. I was trying to search for that literally the last time we were talking about this. I was like, chat, I remember exactly like one of these motherfuckers literally said baby or so in the stream. And I couldn't find that screenshot of that Discord screenshot, right? And I was looking through Raziel's Twitter. It's right there. It's right fucking there. It's right fucking there. I knew it. I so fucking knew it. I was like, there's no way. I feel like one of these motherfuckers said baby or so. And I was trying to remember where I saw it. And I read it from the DMs of the Discord.
So look, she doesn't specify this in her document, but she gave us no updates on what happened to her long-term relationship. I think at this point we can easily assume that she wasn't with a boyfriend anymore. I would hope so, talking like this to another guy.
Yep.
But she specified in the beginning that she never had a romantic relationship with Luca. Look, man, as far as I'm concerned, I don't call my friends love and baby, okay? Yep. So it goes further to
Yep. No. This, like, I even said this proves that like Luca and Raziel had a relationship together, and then I feel like at some point Luca Kaneshiro broke up with Raziel, and it must have been a very messy breakup. And now Raziel is trying to expose Luca Kaneshiro the way it is. So it's basically, that's why I said like, oh, this feels like an ugly breakup or something like that, you know? Like he got famous or something like that. Now he doesn't need Raziel or something like that, right? To that sort of nature, because he has all of these fangirls, right? Like it could be something like that, right? Like this is just my hypothesis, right? And now he's like, oh, I can go get me whatever bitch I want now these days, you know, because he's famous, you know, quote unquote famous, right? Because he's part of Niji-sanji. And then now he just like breaks up with Raziel, and then, well, you know, Lord and behold, this is what happens. So, and even on top of that too, as well, they have like matching phone cases as well, you know. That was the other thing that it was. Damn, Luca made her do his stuff, then egoed her.
Show that they had a very weird relationship.
So wait, it's because the way how I'm looking at it, like the evidence that I'm being presented here, like I'm just like, huh. I'm like, huh. The only thing I could come up with is like this hypothesis, like this thesis that I'm coming up right now from all of these like stuff that's shown here.
That didn't make sense at all to me. Now, due to this event being canceled for him and Ike, he got really pissed off and ended up causing one of the members of staff at Niji-sanji to allegedly start crying. According to his messages, he was saying that he was talking to a vice president and a producer. God knows who cried in this conversation, but this also, again, shows, guys, listen, Niji-sanji's hiring right now. For $2 an hour, you too can work in an extremely...
It's $7, but, you know.
Positive workplace. He also leaked the fact that he had dinner with the CEO of Niji-sanji. Yes, Riku Tazumi, the one who gives a sloppy toppy like no one else, baby. Going to a very fancy Japanese house, being escorted by people in kimonos. Then he says, then it was just like the upper management, these millionaires and billionaires. Raziel says, you're a millionaire. And then Luca says, oh yeah, that's right. Motherfucker had to be reminded. Oh right, yeah, I am a millionaire. That's true. Hey man, gay baiting pays money, baby. That's why they do it, even though they know it's cringe. But that's not the end.
Yeah. Gay baiting is sure is a thing that does pay the way. It's just basically just like, you know, sex sells basically at the end of the day. So whether you like it or not, it is what it is, you know? It is what it is.
End of the internal Niji-sanji leaks. No, in fact, this one is probably the most incriminating. According to Luca, he said that multiple girls were coming to him in Niji-sanji saying that Aster Arcadia was harassing and bullying others internally. Now, this is Aster right here. Of course, these are allegations. According to Raziel, this was also confirmed by another VTuber who's gonna stay anonymous, but look, in general, when people keep saying, oh, this guy's bullying, multiple fingers being pointed at multiple different people, it already indicates a not so positive work culture. Of course, Aster couldn't care less about these accusations as they're currently playing League of Legends and saying things like, I eat you.
That's the problem right there. This person plays League of Legends. That's already signed. That's already a red sign immediately, number one. If a person who plays League of Legends gets up to what, Masters or
Couldn't
something?
care less about these accusations.
Who gets up to Masters in League of Legends? That's a red flag there immediately. And they're like harassing other, libers within the walls of Niji Sanji. There's already a damn problem already. It's like a mix of a concoction of ready to blow up, Yeah, I play VR chat, but I just don't take it serious. I just like to do dancing or so in VR chat. I like dancing in VR chat. It's really fun personally. Like dancing, playing some games, hanging around in the mirror, hanging with some friends, some good times, and all that fancy jazzy stuff. That's pretty much it. Like that's all I mainly do, like in VR chat. Well, back in Yeo times I did this different stuff, but that was only for funsies, so but yeah. But I never was in like the problem is like I was never in drama, right? I've witnessed the drama in VR chat and like the shit that happens, right? And I just sucked up that information and then decided to make sure to avoid any of these situations, and that's pretty much it. And I've never been in any problems. Like I was never really in the middle of any drama or anything like that, right? Like shit happens around me, but I'm like still clear. I'm like, whoa, don't put me into this situation. This is none of my problem. Okay, so yeah.
As they're currently playing League of Legends and saying things like, I eat you. But things are not looking good for Nijisanji at all. This was the DM she received from another Nijisanji liver saying, to help you with clarity, I remember that incident, it was Aster. And of course, management didn't do anything about it. The same Nijisanji liver also told her that Luca has done a lot of bad things, not just to you, so thank you for sharing your experience. A lot of people waited for you to tell the truth for a while because it had been an issue, so I'm happy you finally did. So apparently, he also was harassing people inside of Nijisanji. So this was so big that just like Selen's situation, it reached the Japanese side of the internet. Look, man.
Yeah, it reached all the way to the Japanese side of the globe, which is wild. Like, not gonna lie, that is fucking crazy in my personal opinion,
Man, courtesy to Fall Side on this one. I had no idea.
No, I've done like lewd crazy stuff in VR chat too, but that's like early days or so. Because at the same time, right? It's like at the end of the day, right? I can do whatever the fuck I want, right? But I'm responsible of what happens in VR chat, I know my rights and I know my wrongs, like automatically. Mama Azathoth taught me, she screwed my head tight to make sure I always have a really good thinking cap, always 100%, so.
Yeah, this was even a website. I mean, this looks like something out of 1998. But apparently, it's a well-known Japanese blog talking about this whole incident. And as you can see, there are a whole lot of comments, hundreds, reaching close to 1,700 at the time of me recording this. At some point, listen, I don't need to give you a recap, okay? Just the fact that he had touched himself in a call with her while she had established boundaries was enough.
He did not touch her in a call. Let me rephrase this. They both were in a private world and he touched himself in VR chat while they were talking to each other in a private world. Let me just iterate to you guys, because he just gave out the wrong information on that point. Because it literally says it in the document itself. So he's wrong. Number one, he's wrong right there. So it's not in a call. They were both in VR chat. They had full body on, and he touched himself. Yeah, he touched himself in real life while in VR chat. Yes, while he was talking to the girl. Yes. They were not on a call. They were not on a Discord call or anything like that. No. He touched himself while being in VR. And he had full body, so. Not to my knowledge, no. I've seen all the VODs and everything, like the clips and everything. He hasn't really touched her, but at the end of the day, it's like, it's VR chat. I'm like, it's fucking VR chat. I'm like, I don't really care if someone comes up to me and slaps me in VR chat. It's like whatever, it's just whatever, it's just, for me, it's just kind of like, eh.
Enough of a reason to leave, right? After all this was years of having to endure this relationship, friendship, whatever it was, she decided to end their friendship.
I don't think they were friends in my personal opinion. They had a thing. They definitely had a thing together. Like 100%. Like, come on. There's like multiple signs that points to it that'd be like, okay, you guys definitely had something together. Even though you don't want to admit it, you definitely had a thing together.
She says Luca would become too much for my mental health, and I told him I needed to take a break away from our friendship. I blocked him on Discord after I said I needed some breathing room. I let him know if there was an emergency, it was okay to call/text me. You'd think it's the start of something new, of a new chapter for her. Nope. After a week or so, I found out that allegedly people were making him uncomfortable and he started to fall asleep on other Nijisanji live or streams. Something he had never done before. I texted him if he was okay. Dude, he had one job. Just cut him off. She calls him by his real name, says, are you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm fine. She tells him, hey, I've heard of what's going on. You're sleeping on people's streams. Is everything okay? And he says, yeah, don't worry. My sleep is really bad, but I just need to fix myself. Otherwise, nothing's going to change. Cool. Does she go back to taking a break from him? Nope. He would go on trips, message her, Snapchat her, update her. She asks him, hey, I'm having a celebration on stream. Want to show up? He says, yes, then doesn't show up. Amazing. Then their friendship grew more toxic. You should have left when you had the chance, Raziel. She'd be hurt, upset, frustrated, angry, you know, the typical stuff that had been happening for the last 4 years of their friendship. She had to fly out to her dad so he could keep an eye on her, essentially, from what she says, because she was thinking of graduating her soul out of her body. She was thinking of transitioning from being alive to not alive. Yes, that's right. We're avoiding the YouTube demonetization algorithm. But you know what I mean. She was coherent enough to realize that she was forming a plan in her head to... So she stayed with her dad a bit, went to a psychologist, hoping to recover. She went back home afterwards, and guess what she did? First thing she did? Continue her friendship with Luca. Dude, this is insane. This is...
I think at that point, I would have been long gone by now, right? Like I said, like the part where he touched himself in real life, if I'm talking to a friend, right? If I'm talking to a friend or so that I made in VR chat, right? And he's like touching himself while I'm trying to talk with him and like hang out with him, right? And he's just a horny bastard, right? Of course, I'm just not going to interact with him that much anymore. You know, just keep my distance with him, you know? So, just saying.
Absolutely preposterous. The toxicity would continue and he would tell her, listen, he couldn't do it anymore. He never wanted to talk to her again. The expectations were killing him, for whatever that meant. But still, even when he was pushing her away, guess what she did, guys? Did she actually leave? Nope, she stayed. We would exchange diary-esque updates to each other after this for a couple months, but I noticed it was making me increasingly anxious. I wonder why. She was going through multiple cancer removing surgeries and didn't have anyone to talk to about this as he had isolated her. Now that sucks, and cancer sucks in general, but guys, would it be too much to say that Luca was part of the reason she got cancer? Exposure to someone like this might have contributed to the cancer? I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but just a theory. Now get this.
I don't know, you can just do the research right there. That's a bit of a stretch in my personal opinion, you know, so.
After not updating me on a major life event, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. I told him this. So what does he do? What does Luca do to counter this? Well, he showed me pictures of his family's golden retriever puppy, which turned out to not be his dog. Another lie.
He's like being a social, what is it? What's that word or so? Sociopathic liar or something like that? Like he's just constantly just lying a lot. And at this point, it's kind of hard to believe in him at this point, like whatever comes out of his mouth, you know? It's like basically like the boy cry wolf all the time, right? And then basically he's just like he's crying wolf every time, and basically like it's just a lie every single time. And then now the one time it's not a lie, you know, no one's gonna actually believe him, you know.
And then he apologized. He told her he still wanted to be friends, but that he couldn't do it right now. They would finally stop talking after that, and he would only reach out again asking for tax information, because apparently paying someone to do something for you and saying happy birthday as the reason is tax fraud. Look, it's clear both Raziel and Luca have big issues.
Yes.
And yeah, as much as I feel sorry for Raziel, at a certain point when you get so many chances to escape a relationship, you staying against all odds, even when you want to take your own life, does make this voluntary, does make it consensual. The guy beat his meat without your consent, but you stayed. No one.
Yeah, but but that part is like, at that part is like, it's like, does he really need to ask consent to beat his own goddamn meat though at the end of the day? No, not really. Like, he really doesn't need it. Unless like the boundary that she put up was like, oh, you can't beat your meat to me if I'm talking to you, then yes. But like, who the fuck puts that up as a boundary, right? Like, who actually does that as an actual boundary? That makes no sense, right? Like, that's not the first thing that comes into your mind. It'd be like, you can't beat your meat to my voice. You know, that's something that doesn't really come up like at all. Like, that's like the first thing that pops up in your head. I'd be like, okay, this is the boundary, you know, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't beat your meat to my voice, you know. That's something that's a little bit far stretched out, you know. That one's a little bit like, you know. Do you really think she was one time? I don't think so. I don't think she said you can't beat your meat with, you know, with my voice, you know. That's just not a thing that's a common thing to tell somebody, you know. That's why I'm like, consent. I'm like, this boy doesn't need consent to beat his own goddamn meat at the end of the day, you know. So unless that was the boundary, which number one, it's fucking weird, okay. And then like number two is like, you probably should have like immediately like kind of like a little bit distance yourself from them immediately from that. So
one forced you to. There's no good guy or bad guy here. Both of these individuals have severe issues.
Yes.
And they should do everything in their power to stay the hell away from each other. Now, when it comes to Nijisanji, they have not taken the time to address this at all.
Of course.
Instead, in extremely ironic Nijisanji timing, they chose to peddle Luca's merch at the time of this document's release. You can't make this shit up. Look, Luca broke his Nijisanji contract multiple times in some of the worst ways possible.
Yep.
Yes, he has not responded on his side yet about the allegations against him, sure, but
But he can't do that. He's not going to do that. He's not going to, you know, he's not going to address the allegations. Why would he, you know?
thing is for sure. We have internal Nijisanji leaks sent to Raziel on his behalf. That alone is an immediate termination in the VTubing industry.
Yep.
But hey guys, according to Vox, there is no favoritism in Nijisanji.
It's very funny how certain words can return them and bite them in the ass like really hard, right? Because that's what Vox Akuma said in that one video. There's no favoritism in Nijisanji. What did Millie say? Millie said, "Oh, what is the definition of a black company?" Damn, man, it sure definitely comes around real hard, doesn't it? When it turns around and bites you in the ass, huh? That's why you have to choose your words very wisely when you're saying these things. And, well, Lord of Behold, didn't really end very well for these people. Because Vox Akuma streams over at Bilibili now. He doesn't... I don't think he streams on YouTube anymore. He streams over at Bilibili. He's literally hiding in Bilibili. For those who don't know, right? For those who are, like, watching the video, right? I don't know if you guys are going to be watching until the end of the video. The man is streaming in Bilibili at this very moment. You know, he's not streaming on YouTube anymore. So, yeah. Very smart move, to be honest. Actually, do you think Niji will keep EN branch, or will they do it like did with ID branch? I don't know, to be honest. I can't tell you on that one.
So I'm sure he'll get terminated, right? The impact of this whole thing is also definitely going to be negligible. They need huge internal changes. Because as it stands right now, the internal harassment and bullying, the disorganization, the terrible management, the psychos they're recruiting to be VTubers, where are you finding these people?
Yeah, that's the problem too. The people that they're hiring are not mentally built or mentally ready to have this sort of type of power. You know, they're really not. Like 100% they are not. That's why I'm just kind of like, interesting.
The mass graduations. This is not helping. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Love you. Mwah.
God tier trap. Listen, I just need 5 minutes. Please keep talking. Yeah, not gonna lie, that was very interesting. There's some stuff that were kind of like, you know, where he says like, oh, they're on a voice call or something like that, you know. And I'm like, well, I don't know about the marriage part. That one I don't know because he didn't really show any like proof or evidence and stuff like that, right? I don't know. Like I said, it's like there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that are a little bit up in the air with certain information, you know. But overall, like at the end of the day, it still proves that like what Luca Kaneshiro did, you know, slash, you know, Java was definitely not right in the head, which number one proves my statement that, you know, the boy was playing VR chat online a lot more than usual. So that's automatically a red flag for me specifically. And I'm just like, oh God, it's one of these kinds of people. You know, I've met these kinds of people. Never ends really well for them personally. So that's why just me personally, I'm just kind of like, Anyways, that was a good video. I actually quite enjoyed that. That was a very, very fun video to like review, you know, on the whole, you know, look at Kaneshiro, because Mujin does do quite a good extensive research on a lot of things. And that also proves my statement too, because like I was trying to find like Baby or so from the last video, because we did look at it from false IDs like video itself back a while back or so. And I was trying to find that one specific screenshot or so of like saying, I remember them saying like baby, and like one of them said baby, and then something about like the whole freaking you know, the phone case thing. So VR turned Luca to a heathen. Probably, well, to be honest, the fame actually turned him into, you know, remember he wakes up at like 4 o'clock in the morning to join on Raziel's stream because of the attention, you know. He joined on Rafflegator's. He joins on Rafflegator's stream because he wants the attention, you know? He's an attention-seeking whore. Like no joke. Like 100% he's literally a attention-seeking whore. Like it's crazy. Like it's literally the definition of it. Like no joke about it. Like there's nothing wrong with it specifically. And that's what kind of drives me a little bit crazy. You know, and I'm just kind of like, whoa. And he goes into the mindset too of being a streamer slash VTuber in the most wrong way as possible, you know, like 100%, you know, it's just, that's what I'm saying. So no, the girl said baby, not the guy. The girl said baby. But yeah, anyways, you know, comment, like, subscribe, do all that fancy jazzy stuff, and let me remind you guys: do not join Niji-sanji. Niji-sanji, it is not a Greek company, and yeah, and I am very happy that I did not get accepted into Niji-sanji. Anyways, catch you all on the next video.